I'm calling to order this hearing. This is a public hearing of the Committee of the Whole, and it concerns a bill. And I'm trying to realize I need to plug in my laptop. This hearing today concerns Bill 23-817, entitled the UDC Board of Trustees Term Limit Amendment Act of 2020. The time is 9:08 in the morning. We are having this hearing virtually over the Zoom platform. Did I say today is Friday, July 31st? The stated purpose of Bill 23-817 is to amend the term limits for the University of the District of Columbia Board of Trustees. Specifically, this bill extends the total length that a UDC trustee is appointed by the mayor may serve consecutively, lengthening the time from 2 5-year terms to 3 5-year terms. Additionally, it provides clarity with regard to determining how long a trustee has served and may continue to serve. Notably, the language in this bill is identical to the language included in DC Act 23-328. DC Act 23-328 is entitled the Coronavirus Support Congressional Review Emergency Amendment Act of 2020. The record in this matter will be open for 2 weeks. That is, it will close at 5 p.m. on August 14th, 2020. Anyone who wishes to submit testimony may do so by mailing their testimony or emailing their testimony. If they email it, they should send it to cow@dccouncil.us. COW stands for Committee of the Whole at dccouncil.us. Mailing it would be to 1350 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. 20004, to the attention of the Committee of the Whole of the Council of the District of Columbia. I'm going to explain this a little bit differently. Right now, the code provides that for those trustees who are appointed by the mayor, who have to go through a confirmation process with the council, that they may serve no more than 2 full terms. And the implication is that if they serve a partial term, that would be in addition. And most appointees do serve a partial term because they are appointed to fill a seat held by a predecessor and not at the start date, which I believe is May 20th of the year. So then the question becomes, what amount of partial term doesn't count as a full term? And so to simplify all that, we're saying no more than 15 years or 3 terms, and that would include partial terms. That's the essence of this legislation. We have one public witness, Troy Stovall, who's the Chief Operating Officer for the University of the District of Columbia. Mr. Stovall, do you want to begin with your testimony?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate the opening there and the clarity. So good morning, Chairman Mendelson, members of the council, staff, and the public. As you just said, my name is Troy Stovall, and I do serve humbly as the Chief Operating Officer for the University of the District of Columbia, also known as UDC. And I'm pleased to testify before you today on Bill 23-817, the UDC Board of Trustees Term Limit Amendment Act of 2020. As you stated, Bill 23-817 rewrites sections of the law to provide some much needed clarity regarding the UDC Board of Trustees, also known as the BOT service, including the start and end date of terms. Most importantly, the bill makes it clear that appointed trustees can serve 3 partial or full terms consecutively, again, as you mentioned a few moments ago, Chairman, with a maximum of 15 consecutive years. This provision is extremely helpful, as for many years, the number of terms members served was heavily debated based upon whether a trustee began service at the beginning of a term or completed part of a term previously vacated by another member. This bill ensures that highly effective BOT members can continue to serve without interruption. We would like to thank you for introducing this bill, moving it forward, and the opportunity to testify. We fully support it and appreciate your continued support of UDC, and I'm happy to answer any questions you or any other committee members may have.
Thank you for your statement. I misspoke when I said May 20th or May 30th. The terms begin on May 15th.
Yes, sir. I was gonna bring that up during the question, but that is correct, sir.
And And those terms never change. They always begin on May 15th. So unless a person is appointed on the 15th, literally appointed on the 15th or preceding the 15th to start on the 15th, they're going to be serving a partial term. Obviously, if somebody is appointed on, let's say, May 30th of the year that the term starts, then that would be essentially a full term. But if they're appointed, let's say, a year later or 2 years later, 3 years later, pretty clearly it's a partial term, but a year later, and that's where the problem has been in interpreting the statute. So that's what this bill is intended to resolve.
Yes, sir.
We adopted this legislation on a temporary basis, technically what we call an emergency basis. Mr. Stovall, have there been any concerns or issues that have arisen while the emergency's been in place? And have you received any feedback regarding the bill from current members of the Board of Trustees?
On both questions, neither, sir. We've been able to operate the board fairly effectively, and there have been no comments during the emergency period.
Are there any current trustees who are implicated? I think that means affected by the this bill.
So Chairman Bell, who we've renominated, is going through the process. And so yes, he would have been impacted. So yes, so he's going to be able to serve a third term.
Okay, so he comes to mind as somebody who's affected by this.
Yes, sir.
And I know over the last few years, there have been other members or former members who are affected by this. That's correct.
That is correct.
Now, 15 years, the bill provides 15 years because right now the law is 2 full terms. And as I've said, and you've agreed, it also allows for partial terms. So a little bit more than 2 terms. So what this bill does is to say 15 years. That's a long time. 15 years is going back in time, 2005, when George Bush was the president before Barack Obama. Do you have any concern with that length of time?
No, sir. I think particularly in the higher ed space, that's not super unusual, but it is. But I think it gives some continuity and some institutional knowledge. I think is necessary, particularly during, definitely during now. But I think that institutional knowledge is vital. It's proved very efficient with some of the members that we've had that have served a long time, you know, prior to the president coming on board.
Now, this bill speaks to only those trustees who are appointed by the mayor after confirmation by the council. There are also trustees who are elected by the alumni, and I believe there's 1 student representative. This bill does not affect those, either the alumni or the student trustees, should it?
Well, it wouldn't affect the student because student serving for 15 years would be that'd be a long time to earn a degree. So they're 1 year, and then the alumni, they do their elections. They just have their elections, and we have 3 new members from the alumni. You know, I think we support it as is. We're not asking for any changes as far as the alumni part of this.
Let me just double check and see if Ms. Setlow, the staff to the committee, has any questions for me to ask, and I don't see that she has any. Mr. Stovall, is there anything else you want to add before I adjourn this hearing?
No, sir. Again, I think you know I'm departing, so I appreciate the time I've spent with you and the university, and appreciate your support for the university and for me.
Have I heard that you are leaving the university and taking another job?
Yes, sir. That's correct statement.
And when will you be leaving?
I'm staying at the university through the end of the month to make sure that we have an effective opening, and then I'll start early September at a new opportunity.
Okay, when you say end of the month, you know, this is still July.
Well, end of August. Thank you for the clarity.
Okay, the end of the month would mean midnight. Okay, so through August.
Yes.
If you have nothing else, and I don't see that there are any other questions from staff that I didn't ask, we will probably move to mark this up early in the fall.
Okay.
As I said at the beginning, the record in this matter is open for 2 weeks, so anybody who wishes to submit comments may do so, and I would recommend they do so by email to cow@dccouncil.us. The record will close in 2 weeks, that is 5 p.m. on August 14th, 2020. And with that, the time is 9:18 in the morning, and this hearing is adjourned.